Jana from Ballerinas by Night. I'm so excited to be doing this video today. I'm going to review the Perfect Fit Pointe shoe inserts. I know a lot of you probably heard of this stuff, some of you may not have, so for those who haven't heard of it, it's a new pointe shoe. Well, it's a toe pad basically. It's a custom toe pad for your pointe shoes. I had been dying to get my hands on this stuff ever since it popped up in my Instagram feed one day. You guys know that I love when ballet meets new technology things, so I was just so excited to get this. If you don't know what this is, it's a custom toe pad made from this putty material that when blended together forms like a rubber ball consistency. You end up with something like this, where the padding is completely molded to the shape of your toes in the shoe that you're currently wearing. Super cool concept, and I love it. I think it's brilliant. Just to kind of explain how it works, when you get the kit, they send you 4 jars of the putty. There'll be 2 green and 2 white, 2 of the cloth coverings for the toe pad, one for your left foot, one for your right foot. These little plastic sheets that you need to use when you're making the toe pad. Some little covers if you use toe spacers, and a cute little bag to keep it all in. What you do is for each foot you take a jar of the green and a jar of the white putty, and you mold it together for 30 seconds, and then you take it and you just place it over your toes, over where you would normally wear a toe pad, over the tops of your toes, over the tips of your toes. You have a toe spacer, you have to put some underneath it to connect the spacer. There's a whole deal of instructions about that you can read more into if you wear toe spacers. Yeah, and then you put your little cloth covering over it, and then you put the plastic sheet over it, and then you put your foot in your pointe shoe, and all of the putty kind of distributes itself to mold around your toes, which essentially alleviates all of your pressure points. So it's pretty incredible. So I think the whole process takes maybe 10 minutes or so to make the mold and put it in your shoe, and you want to work through your shoe, work through demi, work through full point, work through tendus. That's the process. So yeah, I want to kind of share how my experience went with making them. So they say in the instructions that you don't have to use all of the putty from each jar if you don't want to, if you like less padding or whatever. And I don't normally wear a ton of padding. I don't tape all of my toes, anything like that. So I decided to not use all of the putty from each jar. You use a jar of the green and a jar of the white for each foot, and you mold it together. I used maybe a little over half of each jar, but as soon as I went to spread it over my toes, quickly realized, oh yeah, I have super long toes. I probably should have used all of the putty just to cover the area. That was definitely a mistake on my part, and I should have used all of it, because I discovered when I put the shoe on that I felt that it wasn't thick enough, that I almost felt like I was sinking in my shoe, that there wasn't enough thickness in there for my foot to feel supported this way instead of this way. So yeah, my initial reaction to it was this feels amazing, but I need a little bit more padding. So, but I kind of worked with that for a few weeks to see if I continually thought that as I wore them, and I did. So, and what ended up happening was the right shoe actually came detached from the cloth covering. So I was like, oh no. But then realized, well, I can go ahead and take all the leftover putty that I had, and I'll just make a new insert. So that's what I did, which actually turned out to be too much putty. Because now the shoe feels a little bit too snug and almost inhibits me from going through demi pointe. But I feel now I have a better idea of what it feels like if I were to have used the correct amount of putty to begin with, because it feels incredible, you guys. It feels like your foot, because it's just molded around your toes, and the consistency of the material it's very smooth, it's kind of cooling. I compared it, I put on the Perfect Fit Pointe on my right foot, and I put the normal toe pad on my left foot, and it was so crazy to compare the two, because the toe pad felt really dry and almost scratchy compared to the Perfect Fit Pointe, where it was just this smooth, I don't know. Yeah, the Perfect Fit Pointe, it just felt like I had support more than the normal toe pad. I could just feel more stable, I can just get to where I want to be on point more easily. And I find that I just don't have the rubbing of areas where it's painful. It just feels like my foot. I feel like that's the best way to explain it. It's really cool, you guys. So one of the tips that they have on the website and in the instructions are that if you have a longer second toe, me, when you first put your shoe on with the putty, you don't want to directly go onto pointe with all of your weight. They tell you to work through demi and going over the platform for a couple minutes first without putting all of your weight on the platform. So I did that, and that seemed to work out really great for me. If you're in the longer second toe club, make sure that you do that. And then my other just like personal tip would be, unless you have like super short toes, or unless you know that you just really like a thin layer of padding in your shoe, just go ahead and use all of the putty that's provided for each foot, because any excess that's not fitting in your shoe is going to come out the front of your shoe. Because as soon as you go up, it's just like all of it just distributes and comes out the top. Those would be my 2 pieces of advice. As far as cons with the product, I would say just the time that you have to take to make the mold. I mean, it's not a lot of time, it's like maybe 10-15 minutes. So not long at all, but it's, you know, you can't just like buy the insert and put it on and go. So there's just a time factor. And then also if you change point shoe styles or point shoe brands, if you change to a different style of shoe than you've made your mold, you have to make a new mold, because obviously the mold has been created with your foot inside of shoe A. If you switch to shoe B, it's not gonna have it distributed properly. So if you find that you're switching brands a lot right now, kind of discovering things, maybe hold off from doing this. But if you've been consistently wearing a shoe, or you know that you like a shoe that you're in, I say go for it. I think it's a really cool product. I think it works really well. I think it's very comfortable. I feel very secure and supported in it. It's just brilliant. I think it's so awesome. And I'm so glad that I think it's so awesome, because I was so excited about trying it. So that makes me really, really happy. So yeah, I'm curious if any of you guys have tried it. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What are your thoughts? I'm just curious. But yeah. Big thumbs up from me. I've also done a blog post to go with this video, so if you want to hop over to our blog and you can just kind of see some like still images and just kind of read my review as well, you can definitely do that. ballerinasbynight.blogspot.com. It's linked in our description box. I will also link Perfect Fit Pointe. If you aren't subscribed to our channel here, make sure to do that. You can follow us on our Facebook page on Facebook, yeah, and you can follow us on Instagram. It's all under Ballerinas by Night. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful, and let us know in the comments what you guys want to see in the next month. Do you want more technique tips? Do you want more topic discussions? Do you want more vlogs? Let us know. We'd love to hear. Hope you guys are having a great week, day, morning, evening, whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!